What's going on, everybody? This is PumpTech78, and I want to do a little video. This is going to be a consumer video. And you see this label right here, Troybilt XP. This lawnmower is a Troybilt Horse XP. And this mower, it has the Kohler, let's see here. It has the Kohler 22 horsepower motor. And the motor, I ain't gonna lie, is a good motor. Hadn't had any motor problems at all. But this mower is a piece of junk. I paid $1,300 for this lawnmower, I believe 4 years ago. And I have, every time I mow, have problems with it. Now, it'll cut. The motor's got enough power, it'll cut pretty tall grass. So like I said, the motor, no problem. But this thing is built very cheap. The latest problem is, if you see right down there, that's the gear that makes the wheels turn left or right. In this hole right here, there's another gear that grinds into this gear, and that's what makes it turn left or right. Well, I noticed some play in my steering wheel the other day, like it was like grinding or something. Had a lot of play in it, and look down, the darn thing won't even turn now, because the smaller gear, which is right here, that's what it looks like. This is the shaft that attaches to the steering wheel on this end. As you can see right here, where it's done gave way. I don't know if it has some wiggle in it or just poor craftsmanship or what, but this thing, it's gone. But what really pissed me off to make this video, the bottom of this is underneath by the deck. You have to take this screw off right here to take this shaft out. Well, that's going to take a lot of torque. It needs to have a nut where you can get onto it with a socket. Well, look what these people have done. That was a Phillips head screwdriver. And I took the biggest screwdriver I had that fit in there, and you can see exactly what happened. There's a little retention washer right here. I broke it off the screwdriver and was able to pry that out where I could order me another one and replace it, just to get my yard mowed, a couple more times for the season. But it's things like this, poor craftsmanship. I mean, anybody with any sense knows that should be a regular screw that you could put a socket on to torque it enough to get that out. And here is the deck assembly. And this deck assembly, which is dirty, I took it off because this thing gets grass on it like no deck I've ever seen. There's a spindle under each one of these pulleys, one here and one here. I've already replaced both of them. This belt, this is the 5th belt I've put on this mower in the past 2 years. I've went through everything, all the components are working like they're supposed to. I've seen other reviews on the internet where people have the same issue that I'm having. There's really no way to tighten this belt up, except the only thing that keeps it tight is this spring right here. And I've also had to replace this right here is what engages the PTO for the blades. I've had to replace the cable from that. That's one thing I've replaced. Like I said, both spindles that the blades attached to, the bearings went out on them. And now, like I said, I'm going to replace this shaft that goes on, makes it steer. And like I said, it seems like every time I go to mow with this mower, there's a problem with it. And I've also got a Troybilt Bronco tiller, I believe it is. It's a piece of shit. It's not worth a dime. My wife went and bought the Troybilt, I guess it's the jumper. It's a little garden tiller. Do not buy that either. It is a piece of junk. We used it 2 times. You know, damn thing won't even stay running now. And I work on gas pumps for a living, so I know any of the small engine stuff for lawnmowers, weed eaters, we run non-ethanol gas in them because the ethanol is not good for the engines. But if you're looking to get you a Troybilt Horse XP lawnmower, save yourself the money and the heartache. Spend the extra $200 or $300, get you a Cub Cadet, John Deere, anything but a Troybilt product. Because I've got 3 Troybilt products, and I will be glad when all 3 of them are off my property, and I can, you know, have the means to get me another riding mower next year. Because this thing is a piece of junk. Out of a 10, I would give, if it was just for the motor would get an 8. It's got a strong motor. But when it comes to the rest of the mower, out of a 10, I would give it a 1.5.